want employee level accountability. You want them to follow your script, use your CRM, attend your trainings, and hit your KPIs. But you're offering contractor level commitment. So today, I'm going to show you why so many investors struggle with hiring acquisition closers and why the way you structure the role can determine whether you build a team or create constant turnover. If you're new here, I'm Tiffany Hyde. I'm the co-founder of Heels Homes and Results Driven REI alongside my wonderful husband and business partner, Josh Hyde. And after experiencing well over 2,000 real estate transactions and coaching over 5,000 students nationwide, I can confidently say we've made every mistake there is to make. And now we help investors just like you avoid them so that you can live in what I like to call option freedom, the ability to do what you want, when you want, with whoever the hell you want. So let's dive in. I want to start first by telling you I am not an attorney. I am not a CPA. This is just stuff that no one ever taught me when I got started, and they sure as hell don't teach you in college or in high school on how to be a business owner. So I'm just at least going to walk you through the legalities of a contractor versus a W-2, okay? Now, my guess is that you want someone to work for you that wants a career with you. They want to see long-term growth with you. You want stability with them, which is by definition an employee. But what most people get caught up in the industry doing is hiring people as 1099 contractors because they think, oh, it's cheaper, I get to pay them less, or I don't got to pay payroll taxes, I don't got to pay benefits. Well, guys, those are the things that attract the talent you want, right? So today, I just sheerly want to focus on the legality. Now, there's no right or wrong answer, so I want to be clear about that. You can make them 1099. I just want to show you if the IRS ever came and audited you in general, right, then you need to be following these rules. So I wish someone would have told me. I'm going to tell you. Let's walk through and just compare W-2 versus 1099 and break down the rules, right? Let's talk about training. When you're an employee, my guess is that you want to train your sales team. Now, what we do is we train them every day, every morning at the same time. Why do we do that? Guys, sales is a sport. Do you think Michael Jordan would be winning every game every week or be the good player he is today without training every single day, right? From the time he picked up a basketball at probably 5 years old till the time he retired, my guess is every single day of the week, he shot free throws, he shot layups, he dribbled the ball, he did all the fundamentals that keep him on with the game. No different in sales. So for us, we want to mandate that our team is getting trained every day or they're going to ruin hard-earned marketing dollars. I'm literally taking a dollar bill, imagine this is $1, and I'm lighting the damn thing on fire. And I know you don't want that. So if you want them to show up to training at the same time every day or perform in a certain way, that is a W-2 employee. Now, when you hire a contractor, any skills or knowledge they have to obtain on their own. Now, you can offer to train them, but they don't have to show up by law, okay? Now, let's talk about how. Now, the employer, right? People on my sales team follow a singular acquisitions process. If it's teachable, it's check the box, and it's scalable. If I bring someone in and they bring in their preconceived notion of what they think sales is or how the process should be, and they don't do the same thing as the rest of the team, that ain't gonna work out, and it's gonna be really hard to manage or watch film or track KPIs because there's no process being followed. But when they're an employee, I'm the one giving the instruction, okay? I set the tone on what the process is and I manage against that process. But if it's a contractor, you have to be very careful because you can't necessarily determine what that process is. Let's talk about when. My guess is that you want to control what hours of the day they're in front of sellers, right? Because there's prime hours, and if you do research, the studies show that during certain hours of the day, you are most likely to land that seller. Now, if they are 1099, you can't control their time. Now, you can say, hey, these are the best hours, but you technically, by law, can't say show up here, leave then. But when someone's an employee, you can, okay? Let's talk about where. Now, I, as an employer, if you are my employee, I can determine where you will conduct business on behalf of our company. When you're 1099, that's a gray area and you can't necessarily always determine their work environment. Compensation. Now, when you're W-2, the pay date's set and it's in regular amounts and there's a lot of structure to it. In commission only, a lot of times they're paying their own operating expenses, their own equipment, etc. because, right, you're asking them to run their own business. Now let's talk about right to terminate. As a contractor, I can cut that contract at any time. An employee is really based on the state laws. So I'm in Ohio, I have a right to terminate state. and you really need to get with your labor law attorney to understand that. One last thing that's really critical. I had this happen to me twice, so I'm going to walk you through some real life stories. When you are asking someone to be 1099, you're asking them to be their own boss, right? You're asking them to have their own mission, their own vision, their own core values, everything. In addition, you're asking them to pay their taxes like a business owner. And what happens typically is a lot of times, and I think a lot of entrepreneurs go through this in the first year or two, you don't really understand how that works. And so I've had a couple closers where they thought that they were employees, but they were really contractors, and that they didn't realize they have to save money to the side to pay their taxes. So the end of the year came along, they made, 6 figures in income and blew it all the second they made it. Tax season comes and they don't pay their taxes because they didn't have the cash to pay it. Guess who got a letter from the IRS? Me. I got a letter on behalf of both of them saying, Tiffany, hi, on behalf of Heels Homes, we see that you paid XYZ person and they haven't paid their taxes. So if you continue to pay them XYZ, you are now responsible for their tax bill. Think about that with contractors, maybe flooring contractors or plumbers, whatever. They all have to pay their taxes. And if you know and are made aware by the IRS that they are not, and you continue to pay them, the IRS now comes after you for the fines and back taxes. And I know none of you, including me, want to pay that. We need to make sure that if you are going to make them 1099, that they are well educated. We want to ask them how they handle that, because you don't want to run into a situation like that, especially if you're pouring all of your energy, effort, and dollars into training them in the first place, and then you got to let them go because they didn't pay their taxes. So just some things that I wish someone would have explained to me back in my early entrepreneurial journey. If you're trying to build your acquisitions team the right way, from recruiting, onboarding, compensation, training, tracking, scorecards, one-on-ones, all of that, then you need to get inside of our community. We go live every single week, and we're sharing the systems, the scorecards, the hiring, the onboarding, everything that we do inside of our own business for free. We go live once a week for free in there. You can ask me any questions you want. I personally reply to all of them. And you get a chance to learn from other investors going through the same things. And guys, get real world feedback as you build your team. Okay? The link is in the description. I'll see you there.